that lets you save...
Look here.
True form life.
This is the mental training. This is the part where you need to listen to see sustainable results. You can't just jump into a program for 6 weeks and lose 20 pounds and don't change anything else in your life.
Welcome to Exploring Mind and Body with Drew Tadia. Drew is an expert in nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. And he wants to help you live a healthier, longer, and more active life. Now here's your host, Drew Tadia.
Welcome to another edition of nationally syndicated Exploring Mind and Body. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Live community. We certainly wouldn't be here without you. Today, I'm talking about making your home a sanctuary. I gotta tell you, there are so many temptations out there. Everywhere you look, there is a temptation here. There's a temptation there. And at the very root or very core of your life is your home. We have to make that a sanctuary. We have to surround ourselves, at least at home, with positivity, with avoiding the temptations. I'm talking about the snacks and the treats and the cakes and the pies and the candies. Those cannot be there because once you step outside of your house, temptations is everywhere. So I'm going to talk about what you can do to help make your home a sanctuary, to reduce all the temptations out there. So sit back and enjoy. We got all that coming up.
This is Exploring Mind and Body. Naturally improve your lifestyle one show at a time with your host, Drew Tadia.
All right. So this is what we're talking about, and that's making your home a sanctuary. And I know that it can be challenging. I know that we don't all have supportive homes. We don't have supportive spouses. We may not have supportive kids. I mean, let's be real. It's not always the kid's fault. Like if they were raised one way around Fruit Roll-Ups, like I was, and Fruit Loops, and then you tell them they're going to have oatmeal, eggs, and turkey bacon, there's going to be a revolt. They're going to push back. I got to tell you. So there's ways that we can help with that. But I'm saying, I know it's not easy. I'm not saying this is an overnight fix, but I'm saying that this is something that needs to happen for you to see the results you're looking for. So let's look at outside the home first, because that's a bit easier. And when I talk about temptations everywhere, I'm talking about temptations everywhere. And here's the thing is that I don't know, I'm full on, take accountability and responsibility for yourself. You are in the place you're in because of the actions you've taken or because of the inactions you've taken, one or the other. And you got to wear that. That's put on your shoulders. If you want something different out of your life, you make different decisions that cause different actions, that cause different results. So when I say this, I don't mean to let you off the hook, but if you're at a beach area, or let's say you're at a pool area. Pool's a bit easier. Like beach, I guess it doesn't matter. When I think of beach, I think of LA, and we live in an area where it's highly active. People are working out, running, volleyball. What's that one called? Beach tennis. There's dozens of different activities on the beach, and a lot of times people that live around the beach, they want to be fit and healthy because you don't wear many clothes. You wear tank tops or no shirt, and that's just the way it goes. And here's the thing is that most of the world isn't like when you go, I feel like when you go to pools, like if you go to a resort, people aren't all that fit because it's their one weekend a year where they actually get away and enjoy themselves and they're not working or sitting at a desk. But regardless, I think none of that matters. My point here is that it's society, it's the world we live in, at least in North America, in that we have supersized fries and supersized drinks, and the grocery store could be the worst. We have to go to the grocery store to get our food, right? In most cases. I mean, you can order online and you go to farmers markets. There's ways around it, but the good majority of North America goes to the grocery store. And my apologies, I know there's people listening as a podcast and radio around the world. So this could be very similar to where you're at as well. And I've lived in Germany. I've lived in Australia for longer stretches, 7+ months. And I know what life is in different areas as well. But I suppose this more specifically, at the very least, North America, and again, I know in other parts of the world, but this is how we live. And it's all marketing, and it's almost like they're trying to make us unhealthy, right? It's a crazy concept, but you have to believe on some level they don't want us to be healthy. And I mean, we could get into pharmaceuticals, and we could get into companies like Monsanto that control many of the crops, who's actually owned by Bayer, which is a pharmaceutical. But let's leave that for another subject. What I'm talking about here is that our society, when you go to the grocery store, they put the unhealthy stuff close to checking out. And of course that's there for a reason, because you're standing there waiting in line and you're looking at a chocolate bar. You're much easier to grab that and throw it in your cart than actually going to a specific aisle to find it, which of course you can find it there too. In case you wandered down the wrong aisle, we know we shouldn't be going down those aisles to begin with, but that's how grocery stores are built around. They're not built around health, they're built around sales. And unfortunately, those low quality types of foods, there's a higher markup margin, so they make more money on it. So obviously they're going to make it more easy for you to find. But it's not just the grocery store. You could go to the gas station. You walk around the gas station, what is it? It's all junk food. You're hard pressed to find anything healthy at all. So there's more temptation. When you're going to work, what's in the staff room? A box of donuts. Or what? Here's a worse one, like when you have, the principal or whoever, vice principal, whoever brings in lunch is Chinese food or burgers, right? One of the things that we went into a school and we told them we wanted to change that they call it hot lunches. And I don't remember, this was quite a few years ago, but I think it was Fridays or every other Friday, whatever it is, they'd bring in hot lunch. I'm using quotations here. And that would be fast food. It'd be burgers, fries, different companies. So we went in there and we tried to talk to parent council and we said, hey, can we bring in healthier meals for the kids? And they said no. And then we did a video about it and the parent council got upset and they told the principal and then they kicked us out of the school. And they told us we couldn't come back. I used to go in the school and read books to them. I would go in there and work out with them, and they got upset. The parents got upset because we said that they weren't happy that they didn't want hot lunch, so they said you can't come back anymore. That happened. That really happened. It's crazy, but that's like, we live in such a backwards world. Like, you can't even go into the schools and offer healthier. And I suppose there's a caveat to that, or at least take that with a grain of salt, because there's another school, at least in this town, that is making healthier changes, and they do have healthier options. I'm just saying, of course I'm generalizing. I'm saying in general, you go to most grocery stores. Of course there's some grocery stores that it's healthier options, but in most grocery stores, it's junk all over the place. And then even in health food stores, pharmacies, Costco, like all that free stuff they're giving away, that's junk. And you could look at like pharmacies. Like, I thought pharmacies are supposed to be healthy. I thought health food stores were supposed to be healthy. And I go through most health food, excuse me, I'm having a hard time saying those two words. Most health food stores, I walk up and down the aisle and I'm like, what are you selling? You shouldn't be selling this. And then the same thing with pharmacies are, I guess, along the same lines. I think that they're trying to get people healthy, but they're not. They're trying to keep people on medication, or at least just provide medication, which has nothing to do with improving your health. It's just a treatment, which is fine. Whatever. Most of the world is on. At least in North America, most people are on pharmaceuticals anyway. So it's not like I'm trying to change your mind. I'm just saying that this is the world we live in. And I don't mean to feel or to sound doom and gloom. It's just the reality of what we live in. I went to the pharmacy and I started looking up. I was just hanging out because I have nothing else to do, right? And I was nerding out, and I was like, oh, I wonder what this product is. I wonder what that product is. And I started to read the ingredients, and I couldn't believe it was like, this pharmacy was jam-packed with the lowest quality supplements you could possibly imagine. And I think I saw some people, they would kind of walk over to the supplement aisle, and they'd wander around and they'd pick this bottle up, they'd put it down, they'd pick another bottle up, and really had no idea what they were doing or what they were looking for. And there's so many options. How would you know? I mean, that's why we provide support, and I do lives once a week in one of our Facebook groups, and I call our customers and ask them if they have any questions, and I have regular conversation because I know it's daunting. Like I know the supplement industry, there's so much junk out there. Like, how do you know what to choose? And we're just a small company. Like, we're not even a needle in the haystack when you think of the big picture of all the things that are out there. And like you walk through Costco or box stores or pharmacies, whatever. Like, how do you choose? It's almost impossible. But those are the temptations I'm talking about. Like, you can't. You're hard pressed to find a health product anywhere, let alone a health food store. So where do you go to find it? You have to go to specialty shops now. And here's the thing, like that's my whole point of this, the first beginning of this conversation is that it's so challenging everywhere you go. And the thing is that we don't make it any easier on ourselves. We're like, okay, because it's so challenging outside of my home, may as well make my home challenging too, right? Like most people wouldn't agree to that, but that's what their actions are showing. Like if you have a bowl of candies on your counter, like what are you promoting? You're promoting to eat sugar all day long because every time I walk by the bowl of candy, I'm going to eat it. I have a sweet tooth. I like candy, but if it's not there, I'm not going to go out of my way to get it. If it's sitting in front of me, sure, I'm going to eat it. Like most people, that's why it's sitting out there. A bowl of chips, like when I grew up, my grandma had a bowl. I grew up really close to my grandmother. She had a bowl of chips on the table most of the time. Maybe that's where my love of chips comes from. But most of the time, that's just what was there. Some people I know, they have pies and cakes and cookies, and it's all over the house. So you have cookies in the pantry, you have cake in the fridge, you have chips on the counter. In the living room, there's a bowl of candy. It is endless. And that's what I'm talking about, is making your home a sanctuary. Because if you don't have at least somewhere safe to go to stay on track with your nutrition and workouts, what are you going to do? If you don't have your home, you have nothing. Some people have the gym, which is great. You have the gym for 30 minutes, an hour a day, and that's it. That's not enough. We need to fix our home. We need to clean up our home. And it's not just the food situation. Like, it's the things that we see. Like, we need to, like, for our home, we have a TV. So I know some people that have a TV in every room. Every room has a TV. Like, oh, everyone has that. That's okay. Well, I don't have a TV. I have friends that don't have a TV. You don't have to have a TV in your home. Your furniture doesn't all have to point at a TV. It's okay if it doesn't, right? That's drastic to a lot of people. I understand that's not really going to change. But think about all the rooms that you have TVs in. You don't need a TV in every room. And if there's not a TV, there's a phone. And if there's not a phone, there's an iPad. So we're continually, like, our home is bombarded with outside noise. Some people have the news blasting all day long or 3 times a day. The TV is too loud, and it could be some nonsense on TV that no one really needs to watch, or it's not a benefit. And I'm not talking about like vegging out or hanging out and relaxing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the all day constant noise that's going into our brain that's not positive. We need to change our lifestyle, and that begins with our home. Like, we need to start to slowly get rid of those treats. And if grandma brings over the cookies, say, thanks, grandma, but we're trying to make a change. And that's another step that I want to point out here in a second. But it begins with the home, and like slowly getting rid of that junk food and not having it on counters. If you really need it, or some people feel like they need it for company, put in the deep freeze. And when company comes over, you pull it out, and you can either send it home with them, throw it away, or put it back in the deep freeze if there's anything left. So there's a lot of different things that we can do, but it needs to be out of our vision. Like, if we continue to see, that's with anything. Like, think about, I have a massage gun. If I put my massage gun in the drawer, I forget about it. So it sits on top of my desk, and I use it every morning because that's where it could be a foam roller. It could be your yoga mat. It could be weights weights or bands if you want to throw them around. Like, they need to be out, not in your closet. And that's what we have constant reminders of. And it's the exact opposite of what we usually have, right? Like, we usually have, books is the other thing I wanted to mention. Like, I love books, but if I put a book away on the shelf when I'm not done reading it, I'm not going to pick it back up because it's not in my vision. It's not sitting out. Oh, it's not easy to access. I'll just pick it up while I'm sitting in this chair and read it. That's where I leave my books. My wife loves it. She leave my books all over the house. But no, I'm just kidding. I have a book chair. I read in my office, and I have a book chair in the living room, and that's it, because there's no TV out there. I have a book. And our little guy, he loves books. When my wife goes for runs, she does 5Ks, 10Ks. He reads most of the time. And we know other people in our life that their kids watch iPads. That's fine. I'm not judging. I'm just saying that these are habits that are taught and learned at a very young age. So you can either help our children at a young age, move them in a more positive direction, or they're going to be watching the news just like everyone else. And I'm not entirely against the news. I don't care. If you want to watch the news, but you don't need to watch it 3 times a day. And it doesn't need to be blasting throughout the house. Find out a few facts, watch it for 20 minutes if you need to, and then move on. Just that continually reminding of the negativity of the news. Like I watched it at a family's house not too long ago, and I was like, and I hadn't watched it in, I don't know, weeks or months. And I was like, my gosh, people watch this? It's like the worst things that happen in your city or in your community. They focus on something positive for 3 minutes. When I went on the news for my book, I think I got 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. And the rest was like, so-and-so got murdered, so-and-so got killed, so-and-so's house blew up. Like, that's all they talk about. And of course, news is mainly based around fear, but we have to understand that. We have to understand that's continually going into our minds. And that's whatever's in our mind is what the words we speak. The words we speak follow. Actions follow the words we speak. So that's not really something that we want to focus on, in my opinion. So we need to start to move away from everything negative that's going on around the home, and we need to get towards more positivity. And whatever that is for you is completely different for everyone else. That could be hanging out outside in the pool, like a little tiny pool in the backyard, like little kiddie pool, reading books, playing games. I don't know, whatever it is for you, but that needs to change without question. Like your home needs to be a sanctuary. I would suggest Himalayan salt lamps, dim lighting, possibly non-toxic candles, relaxing books. You could watch a show once in a while, like watch a show, but watch one show and move on instead of watching 4 hours of binge watching 4 hours every night before you go to sleep. Like that's not going to improve. Like people say, oh, my digestion is horrible. So I say, well, what happens after you eat? Well, I sit on the couch. And then what? Well, I sit on the couch until I go to bed. And a lot of people don't realize that if you start you go for a walk after dinner time, that actually improves your digestion. But that's not part of our lifestyle, right? Like these are the small changes. The devil's in the details, right? We have to make these small changes to improve our life. And if we don't pay attention to those small changes, we're not going to be able to see big changes in our life. And that goes for the people in our life as well. Like probably the worst thing that you could do is make it a secret that you're working towards living a healthier lifestyle. Like if you don't tell your coworkers, if you don't tell your boss, if you don't tell your family members, like we know some people that don't tell their spouses, like they don't tell their husbands they've joined our program. And I'm okay with that because I understand how negative they can be. And it's horrible. It's such a horrible situation. It really bothers me. Like makes me so angry that you have this loving spouse that wants to make a change in her life. And in most cases, I mean, let's be real, it's the husband that's like doesn't want to pay for it, doesn't want to support it, doesn't want to change themselves, doesn't want to eat that way. They're not working out, whatever it is. It's just a vicious cycle, and that really bothers me. So I know that if that's your situation, then maybe you don't tell them at first, but it's so difficult. So you're at work. Picture this: you're at work, and everyone says, "Hey, we're going for drinks after work. Going for drinks and appies. What time are you gonna be there?" Like, I'm not going. Like sooner or later, then they're gonna be like, "Oh, why? That's odd." Okay, we're going next Thursday. You coming for Wing Wednesday next week? Oh no! Like you're not gonna change your whole life and avoid all your coworkers, or maybe you have to go to a work function, and people are like, "Oh, well, why aren't you coming?" And you're like, Instead of telling them up front, you know what? I'm trying to make some changes. I'm really tired of being miserable in my life. And you want to level up and take that a step further. You'd say, could you actually help me out? I could use your help. We had one of our clients in our MAP program. They said that they're going on a road trip. And she said that I thought it'd be a bit weird if I was like, we pulled over to have a picnic or something. I really wanted to get my workout in because she was doing amazing. She's lost like 9 pounds in 3 weeks, I think, and maybe 12 inches, doing amazing across the board. And she said, she asked one of the ladies that she was going on a road trip with, she said, "Hey, will you work out with me? Because I think it'd be awkward with you, everyone sitting there staring at me." And you know what her friend said? "Yeah, of course I'll work out with you. I'm not like, it's not really my thing. I don't know too much about it, but if you could walk me through what you do, I'll do it with you." And I thought, what a great idea. Like we're so used to hiding. And it's the same thing, like I guess I should finish that thought. We're so used to hiding what we're doing. And I understand. Don't get me wrong. I understand very well. It's a fear of failure. You don't want to start a program like you have in the past that do well to begin with and then fall off. And then everyone's going to think of you as a failure, right? Probably not. But I know that goes in our minds, because how many other people have started something and didn't follow through and felt like a failure? So they're in the exact same position as you. Very few people have started a program, followed through with it, and are at their ideal weight. Most people can't stand their body, don't like to look in the mirror, and are miserable when it comes to that. And that's unfortunate, but I'm just being real here. This is the truth. And most people just aren't on that page. And like I was saying, because of our environment, it's not normal. Like I talked about in the past show, I talked about having two different environments, and one being everyone working out, and the other one like planet Earth, where no one really works out, or very few people work out, except for small pockets of small community pockets of people that exercise, like gyms, for example, or online programs. But you don't see it very often. So we know there's a lot of people that have tried and struggled and failed and have never tried again because they don't want to be a quotation failure. But every time you fail forward and you improve. And maybe you try one program and it helped you a little bit, but it didn't really get to the deep root of the issues that you're dealing with, so it didn't help long term. So you try another one, and if that didn't work, you keep trying until you find what works for you. The problem is people get tired of trying and they just end up quitting, and they never see the results that they're looking for, which is unfortunate. It's sad, to be honest with you, and that's not something we want of you. We want to let you know that there's hope and that there are people every day. Like, we are so grateful for our community of people that we're surrounded by. Our clients are amazing. They're grateful and they're happy with their results and they're inspired. And it's just incredible. That's why I want to share that with you, to let you know that there's communities out there. There's people that are inspired. And this is what this is how we teach them. This is what I'm talking to you about, is that it doesn't work if you don't have some type of sanctuary to go home to that's supportive and positive. And maybe that's your room. Like, if your spouse isn't going to be there for you to support you, then maybe that's just your room. Or maybe you can disappear to the basement, and there's an area in the basement where that can be more positive. But regardless, if you're the homemaker or you're buying the groceries, you don't need to buy all the junk laying around the house that is good for no one anyways, like including yourself and the kids. You could choose better for them as well. But when we're looking at our environment, I also wanted to mention family members and friends. We talked about coworkers a bit, but ask your friends to help you out. Ask your friends to help you stay accountable. Tell them that you're following this meal plan and you don't want to go to Wing Wednesday. Tell them, because what are you going to do? Lie to them? Like, sooner or later, you're going to hold back the truth, or you're going to try to hide what's happening, and it's going to come out, and then they're going to feel offended because you tried to hide it from them. Just tell them. In most cases, they'll support you. And if they're not going to support you, it's pretty clear that they're probably not really your friend anyways, right? Yeah, another hard truth. I know, but I want you to see results. And sometimes we need to look ourselves in the mirror, and we need to, like, I just did a video about you can't hide behind progress pictures. People don't want to take progress pictures. Everybody wants to step on a scale because no one else sees that scale, right? But when you see yourself, take a picture of yourself, you look at that progress picture and you're embarrassed by what you see, it's time to make a change. You can make a change. And how do I make a change? What do I do? Well, I'm telling you how to start. I mean, first of all, you need to find a program that's a good fit for you. You need to commit. You need to financially commit. You need to emotionally commit. You need to jump in with 2 feet and make it happen. But before that happens, we pre-coach our clients. We tell them, like, look, this is something you should really do. And sure, not everyone does it, but those that are most successful do. And they clean up their household. And I'm not saying they throw everything from the pantry in the garbage. That's not what we're about. But clean up your pantry a little bit. Clean up your kitchen. Get ready for this, because this is the start of your new life. And that scares people. That's just why they don't want to join a program like this at all, because it's going to change your life for the better. You're going to be a brand new person. We've seen incredible results. Just talked to one of our clients this morning, down 17 pounds. That is life-changing. If you don't think that's life-changing, then I'm not sure what is. We talked to Trudy, doesn't mind me mentioning her name. I think she's down 12. No, she was down 12 pounds, and then this week she lost 4. So another 16 pounds, right? And I said, have you ever lost 16 pounds before? She said, I don't think so. But it's life-changing. And then we had this conversation with someone who lost 20 pounds in the past, and they said, I'm not that excited yet because I've lost 20 pounds before and haven't been able to keep it off. And I said, this is the steps we're talking about. This is it right here. This is the mental training. This is the part where you need to listen to see sustainable results. You can't just jump into a program for 6 weeks and lose 20 pounds and don't change anything else in your life. That's why it comes back. That's why you have to start having these conversations with people. Start having the conversations of, hey, this is what I'm doing. People need to know in your life, because you need to find the people that are going to support you. And if if you have a lot of people in your life that aren't going to support you, that's probably, at least in part, why you're in the situation you're in. We need to start making changes in our life, and it starts with our community, like our home, making our home a sanctuary. When grandma comes over with cookies, how does she know? And you say, hey, I can't take those cookies. She's insulted. Tell her from the beginning. Say, hey, I'm joining this program. Appreciate all your delicious cookies, but don't bring any over right now, please. Or here's a clean recipe. Make that. I know it's not easy. I've been through all of this. I used to come home from college and I'd say, oh, I don't eat that food anymore. And my family was offended. What do you mean? Oh, what? And I get those little comments. Oh, what are you eating now? Or, oh, what can't you eat today? And I'm like, all right. Like, I'm in the position I'm in because this is where I want to be in life, and you can continue to make those comments if you like, but this is how it is. So you have to decide how important it is to you. Is it important enough for you to share what you're doing with other people? Because that's the only way this is going to last, unless you want to wipe everyone out in your life, which of course we don't want to do, or we're not going to do. We need people in our life. We need their support. We need love. We need nurture. We need hugs. We need affection. So instead of trying to eliminate everyone in your life, open them up to what's happening in your life. Tell them what's going on. Share with them why this is important to you. Ask them to do it with you, or ask them to support you. I mean, if they're not going to do it with you, at the very least, they can support you. And if they're not going to support you, I know it's a tough pill to swallow, because I know there's a lot of spouses that aren't going to support you, but that aren't supporting those that we work with. And I mean, you have to ask yourself, are those people that you want in your life to help you create the person that you want to become? You know what a better exercise might be is write down all the people in your life that's holding you back, or all the people that want you to stay in the exact same position that you're in, and then consider how much you want them in your life. And I know it's family. I know it is. I know it's some of you listening to this is your best friend, and they don't want you to succeed because they're going to feel left behind. And they're going to feel like you're leaving them, and they're going to be rude or angry, or you're not going to be so tight like you usually are. But you have to decide how important this is to you, and why. Why is this important to you? Are you tired of, when you're on video camera, putting the camera from your neck up or from your chin up? Are you tired of not wanting to be in pictures? Or do you never look in a mirror? Like, those are pretty deep concerns or statements. Like, a lot of people don't really like the position that they're in, but many people can look in the mirror. And if you're in that position, how important is it to you? How about your kids? Have you thought about your kids? Do they know that you're not looking in the mirror? Or do they know that you have zero confidence about your body image? Do you want that put on them? I know this is a heavy subject, and I feel like it was necessary. And if you're here listening to this till the end, it was necessary. It was something that you needed to hear, and probably something that was good for you to hear, even though maybe there's a good chance you didn't want to. You didn't. It's the progress pictures, right? Like, you don't want to see the progress pictures, because we have to take full accountability. We've done that to ourselves. But the good news is we have the power to change that. We see successes all the time, every single day. We get weigh-ins, we get progress pictures, we get measurements, and we, along with our clients, are absolutely ecstatic about what we see. And it doesn't have to be our program, but you have to join some type of program, because doing it alone, there's too many. I'm not saying you can't do it alone, but I'm telling you that there's a very small percentage of people that can do it without help. So I hope that resonated with you a little bit. I hope it was helpful. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. If we can help out in any way at all, we're only a message away. If you're one of our clients or members or customers tuning in, listening to this, and we can support you on a deeper level, that's what we're here for. And we have these conversations, and there's nothing wrong with them. They're important. They're worth having. We need to have them to see the changes in our life. That's it. That's all I got. I'm out of here. As always, I'm your host, Drew Tadia, in health and fitness for a better world. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Exploring Mind and Body with Trueform Life's Drew Tadia, fitness expert. To find out more about the show, Drew Tadia, or to listen to past shows, visit exploringmindandbody.com.